I think let's remind our the calendar app. Okay, so here is our the app. We display a list of things using the recycled view, and the underlying we use a Lambda database to store this data. So this data will be retrieved from the database using the viewed model, and the recycled view will display this thing. And from the recycled view, we can select one scene to display the detail. Okay, and also this app, we can try to edit the data. The data the operation include add a new data. For example, we can place the add button. Okay, and here we can add a new item, a new theme. For example, I simply randomly type something, and we can select a photo. For example, I select this one. Okay, and here is the description, and save the data. So you can see here, the last item is my added new theme. Okay, so that's for data the insertion into the database. Okay, so let's see what's the new function I will introduce today. For example, I select the Taipei 101. Here you can see I add a new button. The button is show the Taipei 101 on the Google map. Okay, for example, I click the button, show on the map. You can see here, I open a new fragment to display the Google map. Okay, so here you can see a marker on the map. When you click the marker, will display here is Taipei 101. Also, you can see the Google Map has some default function. For example, if you want to show the driving route, you can simply click this button. Okay, so this button you can just see here. We wait a moment. So here, that's quite typical to show the driving route from your current location to the destination. Okay, so that's the default service provided by the Google Map. You don't need to write any programming code. Okay, so let's go back to our app. Okay, go back to the previous screen. So the first unit we will introduce how to include the Google Map in your app. Okay, so that's the first topic. 所以我们今天讲的第一个主题啊，是跟各位介绍如何把 Google Map 的功能嵌入到你的 APP 里面。好，那底下我们会说明如何使用。Okay, before we use the Google Map, let's try to open a sample project. So let's go back to the Android Studio. Okay, let's try to create a new project. So here, create a new project. Okay, so because we want to use the Google Map, so we select the Google Map activity. Okay, so that's a template activity. Let's create the next. And the project name is, for example, we use map test. Okay, and we collect finish. So here, let's see the simple code provided by the Android Studio. Because this simple code will instruct you the something that are necessary before you use the Google Map. Okay. Maybe I use a slide to explain some of the basic requirement before you want to use Google Map. 我们来说明一下，使用 Google Map 有一些前置的条件一定要设定的哈。我们用投影片来说明一下。Okay, so this slide is coming from the advanced topic. Remember, we introduced the online training course, right? Basically, we introduce the basic usage of the Android calling programming. Actually, Google provides some advanced topic. You can follow this link to access the advanced topic. Okay, advanced course. In the advanced course, one topic about how to use the geographic function provided by the Google. Okay, actually mean using the Google Map. Okay, as you can see here, we can create a template project by selecting the Google Map. Okay. The first requirement is if we want to use the Google Map, we need to get an API key. Okay, that's quite important. We need to go to the console website to create an API key. And in your project, you need to indicate your API key. And also, this key is associated to your computer. This means if you apply an API key, it can only be used in this computer. If you change to another computer, you need to regenerate a new API key. Okay, and basically each project should have its own key. However, actually we can use the same key. Okay, this same key can be shared by different projects. Okay, maybe I will show how to share the key by using the by operation on the Google console web page. Okay, and the next requirement, the simulator should provide the Google Play service. Okay, I will mention later. And the other requirement is shown here. In your project, in the build Gradle, you need to include the library function that support Google Map. Okay, that's also a requirement. And the next thing is because you apply your API key. So in the Android manifest.html, you need to indicate your key by include the metadata section, just like this example. Okay. So let's go back to the Android Studio. Okay, so here is a sample project created by the template. Okay, as you can see here, the default file that will be open is this one, Google Map API.sml. Okay, so here we can read this file. Okay, this file say you need to apply your API key and type your API key here. Okay, so you need to replace this string by your apply API key. So how do we apply the API key? We can simply follow this URL link here. Okay, So we simply copy this URL link. Okay, and we open our web browser. Open the web browser here. Okay, and here, copy the link and open the web page. So here you can see this link will go to the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so that's a management web page. Before open the web page, make sure you log in your account. Okay, so here is my Gmail account. Okay, so here is my Google account, and then we simply follow the instruction directed by the web page. So here you state we need to create a new project. So let's click the continue. Let's wait for a moment. Sorry, the networking a little slowly. Okay, and the next instruction is create API the key. Okay, we click the button create API the key. So this page shows the authentication. Okay, and this window shows the generated key is here. So we can select this API the key. Okay, so the completed key is shown here. We can copy the key. Okay, we can copy the key. Sorry. Copy the key. Command C, and then go back to our Android Studio. Here, your key here. So we Command V. Okay, so here is my Google API the key. So now we can run our app. Before you run the app, make sure your emulator support the Google Play service. So let's open the AVD Manager. So you can see here, we click the edit this AVD. Okay, so maybe this page we can go back to this page. Okay, so you can see here, this emulator support the Google Play the service. Okay, so you can see the icon. This means this operation the image, okay, support the Google Play the service. So make sure you have this icon here in your emulator. Okay, so let's close the AVD Manager, and also make sure maybe you open the Gradle file. Okay, so in the Gradle you can see we include the the Google Map Service Library. Okay, here, and also let's open the Android manifex.xml. So you can see here we have the metadata section. Okay, Android name and the Android value. So your API key is shown here. Okay, so this value actually is this value is accessed from, you can see here, accessed from the Google Map keyed XML. Okay, so that's why we have this XML. Okay, so your key is typed here, and the Android manifest will reference the key from this file. Okay. Later, we will demonstrate our own project. Actually, in your own project, we don't need to have this XML file. We can directly type your applied API the key here into the Android manifest.xml. Okay, maybe I will demonstrate later. So let's try to run this app. So let's wait for our emulator. 好，这里主要就是说明那个 API key 的一个申请的过程啊，就参考它的连接啊，连到那个 Google Console 的 website， 然后它就会引导你建立这个 API 的 key， 然后把那个 key 呢，把它给拷贝下来，然后写到你的这个专案里面，填入到对应的位置，然后接着就可以使用的。那在使用之前就记得啊，就是有一些需求啊，就是我在拖影片里面有说明啊，有几个基本的。好 ，so let's see our emulator. Our emulator is here. Okay, so that's you can see this app will display the map, and the default location I think that's Sydney in Australia. Okay, that's default marker. Okay, so that means we successfully open the Google map. So let's go back to our project. Okay, so here let's see our main layout. Our main layout. Let's open. Sorry, layout here. Here is the main layout. We can see the layout is quite simple. Okay, maybe we switch to the code mode. You can see here, the main layout includes a fragment, and the fragment is the support map fragment. That means that's a Google map. Okay, this fragment will load the Google map automatically. Okay, so we have a single fragment. And let's go to the main activity. Here is our main activity. And you can see here, there are something we need to note. The first thing is if we want to access the Google map, we need to get access to the fragment that include the Google map. So maybe I enlarge the font. Okay, so here, the first thing is we want to locate the fragment. The fragment ID is a map. Like you can open the layout. You can see here. The fragment, the ID is a map. Okay, ID is a map. So in our main activity, we use the support fragment manager. Okay, that's the manager to help you to access any of the fragment. And we use the find fragment by ID. This statement is quite similar to the find view by ID. Okay, so we provide the fragment ID, and the support fragment manager will locate the fragment, so we can access the fragment object. After we get the fragment object, we can call this next function get map asynchronously. Okay, So this means we will use a background thread to load the Google map. So after the map loading, this method function will call a certain function. Okay, this function is called a callback function. This means after finish loading the map, this function is our callback function. Our map ready function will be called. Okay, so that's a callback. Before we can use a callback, we can see here, your activity should be inherited from this interface. This interface is called onMap ready callback. This means when the map is ready, we will call a certain callback function. Okay, we need to implement our callback function in this activity. So here we provide our implementation on map ready. Okay, so when the map is ready, we will pass the Google Map object to our variable myMap. Okay, after using the myMap variable, we can configure the Google Map. For example, I want to show a certain location. For example, we want to show the signaling on the map. Okay, so we give the location, give the location point for the signated city. Okay, so here is location information, including the latitude and the longitude. Okay, and also we call the add_marker function. Okay, this function will get a marker on the map. Okay, so we simply call this method, and then we move our viewed point to this marker. Okay, so from our emulator. Okay, let's see our emulator here. Okay, so we can see the marker, and this marker will be located at the centered area of this map because we move the viewpoint to this position. Okay, so that's the basic usage for the Google Map. Later, I will follow the simple code to design our own map-based service. Okay,